Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. We're here at Perfect Wave Productions today. Thank you to Steve Boudre today, the incomparable Steve Boudre. No Black Hills Blend Espresso again this week. Please support them at their two locations in Rapid City. My guest today is Andrea Merez. It's so nice to finally meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
And I have never met her. This is, yet another girl. I am really enjoying this. And yet another performer that I have not met. So it's very nice to meet you. Maybe I already said that. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about you? See, I'm no good at this. See?
Well, I'm a Leo. I have 3 kids.
Okay.
I like walks on the beach.
Uh-huh.
And guitars.
Sure.
Yeah.
World peace?
Of course.
Okay. Excellent. I thought maybe we'd have to shut the camera off. Yeah.
Retake.
Right.
Well, I'm Andrea Merez.
Okay.
I'm not Jason Mraz's little sister, even though it's a rumor. And I've lived in Rapid for about 12 years now.
Oh.
But I did grow up pretty close in 2 small towns, Oryx and Edgemont. And I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. And
we've got a good story going already here. Yeah. So tell us about your guitar playing adventure, musical influences.
Well, I'm pretty sure my first memory, I was on a stage. My father and my mom had a band way back in the day.
Okay.
Back when outlaw country was really, really cool and urban cowboy era.
Oh, wow.
And I was about 3 at my earliest memory, and they were doing a dance, I think in Buffalo Gap or something. And I just always knew I wanted to play music, and I loved Elvis Presley, and I'd sing to Elvis, and he was from Mississippi and Tennessee, and I was from Mississippi and Tennessee.
Oh, not from Edgemont. No. Okay, good.
Yeah. He was not. And when I was about 10, I talked my mom into showing me GCD.
Okay.
And she taught me a Willie Nelson song, Me and Paul. I hope it's Willie Nelson that sings that, because that'd be embarrassing.
He wrote it.
Okay.
He was among the people who sang it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there I just kept wanting to learn more. And when I was in high school, I was about 16, I was working at a Black Hills Gold store in Hot Springs. Mm-hmm. And a music store had just opened up next door. And for Hot Springs to get a guitar shop was just like the coolest.
Big deal, yeah.
Yeah, so on all of my breaks and when I'd get off work, I'd go over next door and I'd just touch all the guitars and I'd play with them. And I started writing more and more songs. And when I got a little bit older, I started having kids, like some of us do. So I put my instruments away for a while, and then finally I just decided I wanted to do, and I just started going to open mics and met some really great people and got some doors opened, and then I've just been playing music around here ever since, and that was probably close to 5 years ago.
Okay. A couple of questions or comments. Number 1, you have to help me get your mother on this show.
I'm trying.
She has several vintage instruments that I definitely want on this show. 2, did you buy a guitar from the guitar shop in Hot Springs?
I did not.
You did not?
No. They were always too expensive.
Okay.
And sadly it's not there anymore. So.
Okay.
But it was a really cool place, and I would have loved to have bought one, but.
Right, but you didn't.
Yeah.
What guitars were you playing at the time that you put away?
That I put away before I.
Well, you were saying you put your guitars away for a while. You went to have kids.
I had some cheapos. Like
okay.
I had a Johnson.
Everybody's had a Johnson guitar at one point.
And it has a pretty good sound, but it was kind of and I lucked out when I was in high school. My mom and I went to a pawn shop, and there was an Arbor big body thin, electric guitar, and kind of like my Gibson Dream. I like the thin ones.
Right.
And it was like $350. And so Arbor doesn't have that great of a name.
Right.
But when I played it and we messed around.
What amp did you play through at that time? Do you remember?
Just a little tiny Marshall that was smaller than this.
Oh, okay.
And that one was pretty good. And then I had a little Fender amp, pretty good for a 16-year-old who didn't know what she was doing. But they worked until I got older.
So the guitar that you're holding, did we purchase this 5 years ago at the beginning of our performing adventure?
My mother actually purchased this one. And my mom bought me this guitar, and it wasn't, as you can tell, it's not a...
Not the Sonoran, not turquoise.
Yes, yeah. But it's still a Fender.
Right.
And it was still an awesome gift. And the reason I brought this guitar is I have nicer guitars. But this one has been the best to me. And this one was just always dependable. And because it had such a little soft story of my mom, trying to scrape up and buy me one, it's just been good to me. So I thought I'd bring this one.
Every episode, I'm surprised by how heartwarming these stories are. Ill-timed guitar purchase that we had to take back, and your mom bought you this guitar. Right off the bat, one thing about this guitar, and I'll let you talk about it. I'll quit being the expert here after a bit. But it's painted black. It's not going to show wear too much, is it?
No.
Which probably is one reason you keep grabbing it to go to shows.
Maybe, unless I ding it, which I...
Well, that'll happen,
But yeah, compared to... And it's got that nice gloss. The only thing that really sucks about it is when it's dirty, which is like all the time.
Right.
It really shows.
Sure.
So I'll see pictures of me, playing, and I'm like, why didn't I wipe that guitar down?
So what else do you like about it? Does it play well?
It's dependable.
Yeah.
It's definitely a cheaper... I don't even know what model this is. Look how bad I am right now.
Well, if you didn't have that sound hole cover, we could probably tell. But that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to pull that out.
We'll have to talk about the sound hole cover, too, at some point.
Right.
What pickup system? Is that the Fishman ISIS pickup system?
It is a Fishman. I don't know if it's... What'd you say, ISIS?
ISIS. That's what's on my gene. I mentioned in that episode that they probably regretted calling it the ISIS pick because it disappeared. Does it stay in tune well?
Yes.
It does.
And that's, today, I used it last night, and then it sat in my car. Well, so then I went to work. I had to take it into work with me because I wasn't leaving it in a hot car. And then I brought it here, and it was slightly off, but not too bad.
Not too bad. Perfect. She is going to play a song here in a bit. We have a surprise for you. After watching the episode with Chip Bradley's bass, Andrea here contacted me and her mother and said, hey, we have one like that. And here it is. This, I hope I'm getting it on camera, is quite the warhorse. Here, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, my dad says if this guitar could talk, it would tell me a lot of things, and most of them he wouldn't want me to know. So, we believe it's a 72 Fender bass Precision.
Okay.
Precision bass.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely got some wear and tear. On the back there, he wore a belt buckle.
It does, in fact, have buckle
stage.
rash here.
There's cracks in it. He would travel, and now I have two dads. I
Sure.
could have had more, but my mom wasn't ambitious enough, and Elvis had died. So when he traveled into Hot Springs, it was super, super cold.
Sure.
Like -20. And
Right.
he said when they were coming in on Fall River Road, they could hear all their instruments cracking in the back of the car.
Oh, wow.
And so you can still see those, and it's definitely got some stories.
Huh. This, a tiny bit of guitar nerdery. Chip Bradley's bass would have been a pre-CBS Fender, and this would have been a CBS Fender. So, in theory, this would have had a polyurethane finish on it. I'm really nerding out at the moment. I'm sorry. Don't look so long. But it's got phenomenal, beautiful, we call that checking, and it looks wonderful. This is super. And the headstock, I can't get over this. It's got perhaps more wear than Chip's headstock. I really thank you for bringing it in.
Yeah.
I was going to attempt to play it upside down. We didn't have time for that. We're just going to put it back. It's so nice. I'm so glad I got to meet you. Alrighty. What else do we have here? Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC. Large, round, and square bales. 515-0858.
If I could hold the strings, it'd be good. I'm that girl with her hair in a mess, the one that always stood out different. Had a lot to say, I guess, and that always makes them mad. Always earned what I had, there were no silver spoons to guide me. Maybe grew up way too fast, but at least I found my way. And I refuse to live the lie of how a woman needs to live her life. 'Cause it's girls like me who make shit happen, and it's girls like me who give you what you want. It's girls like me who drive you crazy, make you wanna leave just to come back for more. It's girls like me, we're a little bit smarter, 'cause we learned the hard way for way too long. What you get is what you see with girls like me. Can't tell my calluses are gone. Always be a lady first, that's what my mom taught me. Only fight if they strike first, some people need to know their place. But I've wasted too much time trying to live the way they told me. So much I sacrificed before my blinded eyes could see that I am on my way. Gonna make something of myself one day. 'Cause it's girls like me who make shit happen. It's girls like me who give you what you want. It's girls like me who drive you crazy, make you wanna leave just to come back for more. It's girls like me, we're a little bit smarter, 'cause we learned the hard way for way too long. What you get is what you see with girls like me. This is the guitar solo part.
We can hear.
It's girls like me who never settle, and afraid to leave a man who won't shape up. It's girls like me who chase our dreams, 'cause we know there's only one way to the top. It's girls like me, we're a little bit stronger, not afraid to go after the things we want. What you get is what you see. People love to hate who they cannot be, like girls like me. Girls like me.
Yeah!
I was really nervous.
Andrea Mraz, everybody. You did fine.